I will say, though, that doing before and after pictures, or even just posting, or being like, hey, whatever, I don't know, helps me. Because believe it or not, this is the after. For right now. And it was a little bit worse 5 seconds ago. But have no fear. I will get this place better. But this is the after right now. And that's okay. Because I'm going to go work out. Take some mental and emotional time for myself. I'm going to read a book that a friend gave me. But yeah. So, like, I'm going to maybe start posting things like what I did before when I was, in this house. I was just posting like, well, this is my life. As weird and just blah, I don't know. It was just, crappy windows, crappy roof. Like the house was a disaster, right? But it was fun, and I made the best of it. And I think that was a part of it. And then as I started getting more and more things like put together, I'm like, oh shoot, but now what's wrong with me? I can't keep. Now I have like a room that's not, sheetrock, missing. Like, okay, I fixed the sheetrock. I painted, I did the baseboards, I did the trim, and I got like the furniture in here. It might not be perfect, but now what's wrong with me? I can't keep it clean. Like, what the heck? And then I start thinking that, like, I'm doing really bad in life or whatever. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. Like, and I forget all the stuff that I've done. I genuinely do. It doesn't matter how much stuff I do. I forget what I did. And I forget that, like, hey, it's okay to not be in a construction zone and to have it as messy as, or maybe messier as a construction zone. Because it's like, I'm still doing things, right? But am I? I forget. I genuinely forget all the things that I've done. And I don't have anyone here at home congratulating me, like, saying this, or like, it's hard for me. Because when everybody leaves, they can be like, oh, you're doing such a good job, this and that, or I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. I come home and I see my underwear on the floor. And I look around and I have this one room that's just completely unusable and just all these things. I'm like, oh, I got curtains and I need to, just all these things. I don't know. It's not that I don't feel like I'm doing enough, but maybe it is. I don't even know. I haven't even figured that out yet. But I'm like, oh gosh, I have so much more in my life now. Like, I have Andy helping me, I have my financial situation has drastically changed. Maybe not back to where it used to be, but I'm not like worried every month that I'm gonna maybe have to sell my house and move because I can't afford it. But I'm like, so I have more things in my life and all this stuff. What's wrong with me? Why can't I paint this one spot that's left on my wall to paint? Like, why can't I just like finish these little last tasks, And it's like, I don't know. I'm just putting this out here so that maybe if other people feel this way, you can like go there with me and we can help relate to each other together. Because it is easier to post on social media and be like, hey, like, this is what I did today. And it has helped me. It really has. It helps me focus. It helps keep me proud of myself. It's genuinely just, it really is documentation for me. Like, hey, if I'm, recording what I'm doing today, I like have to stay focused on it, and like if there's a challenge, I have to like pursue through it. And then after that, after I'm done recording, I'm like, ooh, what about the things that like when I'm cleaning my house, you know, I go from upstairs, downstairs, to this room, to that room. I'm like, I can't record all of that. I mean, like, how do I bring a camera with me and record it and show the progress? And sometimes there's not very much progress seen. It's like moving like one little tiny thing all the way up to Kyra's room, and then another tiny thing out to, you know, the garage, and then here, you know, and it's not this big, huge transformation or this big, huge reveal or makeover or whatever, right? It's these little things here and there, you know. It's picking clips up off the ground and finding them in your clothes and putting them a little bit closer to where they need to go. But that's not like picture worthy. That's not like, you know, right? And so, or like pulling, oh, I'm going to pull 5 weeds today and like all these random little spots, right? And it's like, it almost got me in a habit of like, well, I'm going to let things get really, really worse. Or are we letting it, have it be like, I'm going to let things get really, really bad so that I can fix it so that it's big enough for reveal. And it's like, is that really what we want? Like, I don't want that. And so I'm not saying either way is better or worse. Sometimes, you know, life just gets away from you, and then all of a sudden you get energy to like set your mind to something, and it can be this like big transformation. And sometimes when that happens, you don't know that's going to happen. So you're like, crap, I didn't even document that. And then those are the times that I forget about for sure. Or the times that I actually get into a zone and I'm like, oh, and there's no distractions, and I wasn't planning on necessarily, you know, taking a wall down or, you know, whatever it is that I've done, right? But it just happens. And then I remember it happening, but like, I don't know, I forget too, you know? And so it's this weird thing that happens. And, so I'm going to be happy. I'm going to try to be happier, you know, like when I can make little bits of progress. And I'll document it, you know, if I can and if I want to, because sometimes it's nice to go back on Google Memories. And Andy goes through Google Memories like almost on a daily basis. It almost gets annoying because it's like, hey, well, look at the memories today. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. And then we go through them and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was only a year ago, or like, wait a second, like I don't know, right? And it's like, holy crap, like I didn't have that. What? Like we just took a wall down in my like kitchen like a year ago, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, it reminds me. And so there is a part of like my mental sanity that it's good for me to go back and remember like what I did or where I was, or, you know. And so I'm not saying that I'm like go forward and here on out take pictures of even the little progress. I don't even know. I'm just putting it out there for you guys to think about or not think about or whatever. Basically just using this to process out loud because sometimes it helps me. Which I've learned a lot in talking right now, by the way. I've learned a lot. This is not like preaching to you. I genuinely just learned by speaking out loud. And I learned that there's a lot better stuff in my head when I can organize it than when I just let it sit there and like fester and stuff. So yeah, it's cool today to realize that like I don't need this big old reveal. You know, or sometimes Andy can come home and I'll be like, oh, is he even going to notice what I did? And it's like, should it really even be about someone else noticing what we did? And should it even really be about us noticing what we did? You know, like there's the scripture about like, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. And I'm like, well, if I don't know what my left hand is doing, like, that's scary. That's very scary. Like, what is my left hand doing? What if my right hand... Oof, like what? I don't know. That's what. But so you're like not supposed to like track your progress or something? Like I don't know. If anyone wants to clarify that scripture for me, please do it. But yeah, like don't, basically it's like tithing, like, you know, tithe, but like don't keep track of it because like, you don't want it to inflate you or whatever, and just all these different things, right? Because that has happened to me where I've gotten this like elevated self-esteem, or just, I don't know, like I've gotten maybe arrogant or something, People are probably watching this like, maybe arrogant, Kayla, maybe. But seriously, I'm not doing this, there's a fine line between like doing this to be prideful and above everyone else, and to think that, I have something to give to the world and everybody should learn from me, because that's not how it is. It's not how it is at all. If anything, it's so that maybe my friends can see what I struggle with, and that maybe they can help relate to me, or let me know like, hey, I do that too, or just make me feel like I'm not as big of a freak or something. Because I know that everything that I struggle with is common to man, right? Like, that's true. But so yeah, today I just wanted to share that with y'all. I wanted to show you that this is one of my afters today. It's not stunning. It's not like whatever, right? It's a room with a bunch of stuff in it, and it could be a lot better. But guess what? It's better than where it was. And that's been sort of a whole theme of every remodeling thing that I've done in this house. None of it's like, quote unquote, the way you should have done it, or, I didn't use professionals to do it. It has been a lot of DIY stuff. But guess what? It's better than where it was. And I think that's just something that I need to remember when I'm being so down on myself, or like allowing myself to stop. Like, this, I didn't touch that. Well, yeah, I moved that there. I put that there, and it was on the floor previously. So that's better than what it was, right? And it's in those moments, and when I can keep myself in that mindset, I don't get so overwhelmed. And I kind of just am able to more be in the moment. Rather than let this perfectionism, or let this, ADD, I have a hard time, or people in general, right? I have a hard time like focusing, and there's all these, like, whoa, if I have to get this whole room planned, right? Or I have to clean the whole house up, or I don't even know, even if I'm like, I have to do all my laundry right now, no, never happens, doesn't ever happen, ever. It's like I don't let myself rest. So for myself, it's like, hey, it was better than it was a second ago, and that's because of me, and I did good, right? And I can leave the room now being like, hey, it's better than it was, but now I'm going to go to the gym because I have a membership that I have been blessed with. And yeah, I don't necessarily have to I want to get out of the habit of having to show other people or show myself even what I did today, right? Because there is this part of me that I just want to prove myself so bad, because really ultimately inside of me, I feel so scared and so alone and so not good enough, anytime I'm a terrible person or all these things. Gosh, Satan just used I let Satan hold it over my head forever, and then I think that I have to do all these things to make up for it, and it doesn't let God's grace in at all, and then it becomes this work, and I'm not saying that works are bad. With works, there's, if you don't work, then you don't have faith, or if you don't, believe in it, then you're not going to do anything. I believe that will help, but not doing anything, then you must not really believe in it, right? So, I'm just in this process of torn between if I should document things, how much how much, worth I have. I'm trying to find my worth. And in part of trying to find my worth is this proving that I'm good enough. And part of it is, wait a second, like taking pictures or documenting and doing things that I can be proud of, regardless of with other people. There's this self-expression in it of, hey, I am trying, and wait a second, I did that. That's good. I am good. I'm not bad. All that stuff, right? Or at least I'm like, hey, there must be a little bit of good in me. If I did that, like, because Satan gets, oh man, my head can go to some bad places. Satan gets down on me. I mean, heck, like, oof. Satan, the adversary, the enemy, my adversaries, the haters, right? Whoever you want to call it, whatever, right? But yeah, the hater, sometimes lives in me. Sometimes I'm my hater. And I hate myself. I hate the things that I do. I hate the person I am. And then I'm just working and trying to love myself again. And so it's all a process, obviously, right? And I definitely don't have it figured out. So this is just one way that I am trying to figure it out. So I would like to say, if you have any comments or questions, put it in there, and that I will get back to you and do all that. But I'm not the best at doing that, if y'all know me. So maybe there'll be a time in my life where I can, like, get back to you. Or sometimes I'll read it, and then it, like, evokes such emotion in me that I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. Because I'm super sensitive. I'm learning that I am very, very sensitive, and that is okay, and it can be a strength. Anyways, but yeah. So really, I'm posting this for me, but I'm also posting it for any of my friends that could be, or any of the people that follow me or watch me or whatever. To learn from, or whatever. I'm putting it out there in the universe. Sorry, my neighbors. There's like a bunch of neighbors walking to the house. But yeah. That is all. Thank you. I don't know. I don't need to say any cliche things, right? Yeah, on these videos though, these are probably like the most important ones that, like, if that I do want feedback on. Probably more positive, hopefully. I don't know, I guess it doesn't have to be positive or negative or whatever. It just because people can say, like, good job when I do a project or something, but it's these, like, sort of more vulnerable, heartfelt, in the moment, insecure messages, or even just processing, that I get scared even more so to look back at the comments, because I'm scared of, like, some people in the past, they've had their judgments on things that I've said, or the way that I'm handling life, and it makes me feel unsafe. And so I don't want to feel more unsafe by caring, about the haters' comments, or people that don't know me or don't understand or whatever. I don't know. Sometimes even when people think that they're thinking that they're helping or doing their best, like, it's hard, And so sometimes I don't even want to. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to put it out there and I'm not going to look at, But that's not the right way to do it either. Because, like, if I truly have friends, I want to know what they have to say. I want to know their input. I want someone to be able to relate to me. I want to be able to relate to other people so that I don't feel so alone. Because a huge part of my life recently has been just severe isolation. I'm sure everybody sort of maybe feels that way with the whole coronavirus, but, like, for me, it happened before coronavirus, and it's still happening, even though, like, we're open now, like the country and everything, blah blah blah. So it's not related to the coronavirus. The coronavirus was actually a big sigh of relief for me. So because I was like, oh, yes, nobody wants to go out and do anything. Yay! Now we can just talk to each other like through pictures and videos. And honestly, it was like, yes, I don't have to go to the grocery store. I don't have to go to church. I don't have to like, you know, get together for holidays. But like, that's not where my heart is. Like, I don't want to be stuck there. And I never used to be that person. I'm sorting things out in my life as to like why it is I feel this way. Maybe it's just time for me and God to be with each other. All that stuff, right? I don't know. But, someone is calling me. I think it's my doctor. Actually, I'm pretty sure. I know it's my doctor. So, I'm going to let you go and comment, like, whatever. I don't know.